The story begins not with fire and horses, but with confidence. Absolute blinding confidence. At the dawn of the 13th century, the Khwarazmian Empire stood as one of the most powerful states in the Islamic world. Its banners flew from the Persian heartlands across Transoxiana, from the Caspian shores to the borders of India. Trade caravans threaded its cities like arteries, carrying silk, spices, silver, and ideas between China and the Mediterranean. Its ruler, Shah Muhammad II, believed himself untouchable. He had crushed rivals, expanded borders, and inherited a realm rich beyond measure. In his court, poets praised him, generals feared him, and administrators obeyed him. Yet beneath this glittering surface lay fatal weaknesses: pride, paranoia, and a catastrophic misunderstanding of a new power rising far to the east. The Khwarazmian state was not an ancient stable empire, but a rapidly expanded one. Its foundations were laid by ambitious warlords who had risen under the shadow of the Seljuk Turks. Over decades, the Khwarazm Shahs transformed from provincial governors into sovereign monarchs, carving out territory through relentless warfare. By the time Muhammad II took the throne in 1200, the empire was large, wealthy, and fragile. Conquest had outpaced consolidation. Local elites resented central authority. Governors schemed for independence, and ethnic tensions simmered beneath the surface. The Shah ruled not through loyalty, but through fear, replacing administrators frequently and executing those he suspected of disloyalty. This atmosphere bred obedience, not unity. Muhammad II was intelligent and energetic, but deeply insecure. He mistrusted his generals, quarreled with religious scholars, and despised any hint of challenge to his authority. Even his mother, Turkin Khatun, wielded enormous influence, issuing orders that sometimes contradicted the Shah's own commands. The court became a battlefield of intrigue, where decisions were shaped by suspicion rather than strategy. Still, none of this seemed to matter. The empire was vast, its armies were large, its cities were fortified, and beyond its eastern frontier lay nothing but distant steppe tribes, or so the Shah believed. Far beyond the Khwarazmian borders, a new force was taking shape. Temujin, soon to be known as Genghis Khan, had united the Mongol tribes through ruthless discipline, strategic brilliance, and a revolutionary approach to warfare. By 1218, the Mongol Empire stretched across much of Inner Asia. Yet Genghis Khan did not initially seek war with Khwarazm. He wanted trade. The Silk Road was the lifeblood of Eurasia, and peaceful commerce promised profit and stability. To formalize relations, Genghis Khan sent a caravan of merchants, Muslims carrying official documents, into Khwarazmian territory. What happened next was the arrogant mistake that doomed an empire. In the frontier city of Otrar, the governor Inalchuk accused the Mongol merchants of spying. Whether this was genuine suspicion or an excuse for plunder remains debated, but the result was clear. The caravan was seized, the merchants were imprisoned, their goods were confiscated. Inalchuk then sought approval from Shah Muhammad II. This was the moment where caution could have saved everything. Instead, the Shah chose arrogance. He authorized the execution of the merchants, violating diplomatic norms that had governed Eurasian politics for centuries. Genghis Khan responded with restraint at first. He sent envoys to the Shah, demanding punishment for the governor and compensation for the losses. These envoys were not soldiers, they were diplomats, protected by sacred custom. Shah Muhammad II did not merely reject the demand. He executed one envoy and humiliated the others by shaving their beards, a grave insult in Mongol culture, before sending them back. In that instant, war became inevitable. Genghis Khan is said to have looked toward the sky and sworn vengeance, but this was not rage without reason. It was calculated destruction. The Mongol ruler understood something the Shah did not. This war would not be a border skirmish. It would be annihilation. Preparations began immediately. Intelligence networks mapped cities, roads, and rivers. Engineers were recruited from conquered lands. Armies were divided into independent columns, each capable of acting alone, yet coordinated through messengers and prearranged plans. This was not a horde. It was a machine. Shah Muhammad II, meanwhile, made mistake after mistake. Instead of concentrating his forces to meet the Mongols in the field, he dispersed them across his cities. He feared rebellion more than invasion. Each major city was ordered to defend itself. No unified command. No coordinated strategy. The Shah believed the Mongols would bog down in long sieges, exhausted by distance and climate. He believed numbers alone would save him. He believed wrong. The invasion began in 1219. Mongol forces crossed the Jaxartes River in multiple columns, moving faster than any army the Islamic world had ever seen. Otrar was surrounded first. The siege lasted months, but when the city fell, the punishment was absolute. Inalchuk was captured alive. According to chroniclers, molten silver was poured into his eyes and ears, a symbolic end for a man whose greed had started the war. The message was unmistakable. Next came Bukhara. The Shah was not there. He was already fleeing west, shadowed by fear. Bukhara's defenses collapsed quickly. Genghis Khan reportedly addressed the city's population inside the main mosque, declaring himself the punishment of God for their sins. Whether literal or apocryphal, the speech captured the psychological terror of the moment. The city was sacked, its wealth seized, skilled artisans were spared and sent east, many others were slaughtered or enslaved. Samarkand followed, the jewel of the empire. It had massive walls and a large garrison. But morale was brittle. Turkic troops defected. Mongol siege engines battered the defenses. Within days, the city fell. What followed was systematic devastation, not blind chaos, but organized destruction designed to break resistance everywhere else. News traveled faster than armies. Cities surrendered at the mere rumor of Mongol approach. Shah Muhammad II fled endlessly, from city to city, island to island, abandoning his people. His authority evaporated. Governors acted independently, others surrendered immediately. None could stop the tide. Urgench, the capital, fought fiercely. Street-by-street combat dragged on for months. The Mongols diverted rivers, flooding districts. When the city finally fell, it was destroyed so thoroughly that its location would later be debated by historians. The Khwarazmian Empire was not defeated in a single battle. It was erased, libraries burned, irrigation systems shattered, trade routes collapsed, entire regions were depopulated. The economic heart of Central Asia stopped beating. Within 2 years, the empire ceased to exist as a political entity. Shah Muhammad II died in exile on a Caspian island in 1220, sick, paranoid, and alone. His son, Jalal ad-Din, would fight on with remarkable bravery, even defeating a Mongol army at the Battle of Parwan. But it was too late. The structure was gone. An empire cannot survive on courage alone when its foundations have been burned away. The true tragedy of the Khwarazmian collapse lies not just in the destruction, but in how avoidable it was. Genghis Khan did not seek this war. The Mongols were traitors as much as conquerors. A single act of restraint, punishing Inalchuk, honoring diplomatic norms, could have delayed or even prevented the invasion. Even after the insult, a unified military strategy might have blunted the Mongol advance. Instead, arrogance met efficiency, pride met preparation. The Mongols would go on to reshape the world, but their rise was accelerated by this catastrophic miscalculation. The Khwarazmian Empire became a lesson written in blood, that power without wisdom is fragile, that contempt for diplomacy invites annihilation, and that underestimating a disciplined enemy is the deadliest arrogance of all. Long after the cities were rebuilt and the fields replanted, the memory lingered. Chroniclers wrote of rivers running black with ink and red with blood. Travelers passed ruins where great markets once stood. The Silk Road would recover, but it would never be the same. An empire that believed itself invincible vanished almost overnight, not because it was weak, but because it chose pride over prudence. History is filled with empires that fell slowly, rotting from within. The Khwarazmian Empire was different. It fell like glass, shattered in an instant by a single arrogant mistake.